Dr. Myles Munroe is our guest once again, and this is day 3 of a 10-part series exploring the purpose and power of prayer. Yesterday, Dr. Munroe began unveiling a revolutionary truth, a truth that if each of us really grabbed a hold of it and applied it, I believe it would have a profound impact on our lives, our families, our cities, our nation, and beyond. I love the subtitle of the book that summarizes yesterday's teaching, Earthly License for Heavenly Interference. Let's welcome back Dr. Myles Munroe to take us a few steps deeper today. All right, I'm looking forward to today, Dr. Munroe.
Good to be back, and it's great to be here in Canada again.
This is revolutionary stuff.
Yes, I believe that one of the most amazing things is that when people think of the word prayer, they think of a religious activity or a ritual. I've come to conclude in my own life that prayer is really a business transaction. It's actually a governmental transaction between a government and its colony. And when I say that, in our last program, I talked about the fact that God's original plan and purpose for man is very clearly detailed in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, when God told us why he made us and what he expected us to do, and also how he made us.
Yeah, I think you need to recap some of that, because I think it kind of hit a few of us over the head kind of, and say, now hold on a second, now I've got to think this through, I've got to rehash this a little bit more and get it really to settle in my spirit, because as I said, it is revolutionary. It can turn the concept of prayer totally upside down.
Absolutely.
For most people watching. So let's take our time and go through this.
Well, I always tell people that prayer is necessary because of a law that God put in place concerning the earth. And this is found in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. When God first created the human race, he told us how he made us and why he created us. There are 6.7 billion of us on the planet, and the scriptures are very clear that God didn't create us just for an experiment. There was a specific purpose he had in mind. And in this verse of Genesis 1:26, it says, God said, let us make man in our own image and our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and over all the earth. So 3 things in this verse are clear. 1, God created us in his own image. That means we have his spirit nature, his moral character. Then it says we have been made in his likeness. That means we have his ability to function like him. And then thirdly, he created us to have dominion over the earth. What's important here is the 2 letters, or the 2 words rather, that are used in this verse. It says, let them have dominion. When God said let them have dominion, he really created a law that made prayer, or should I say intercession, necessary. Whenever God speaks, his word becomes law. Whenever God speaks, he himself becomes, can I use this term guardedly, a victim of his own words. In essence, in the book of Psalm 138, we read these statements. It says, I have placed my word above my name. And the Hebrew word for name is the same concept as being or to be. So God says, I place my word. When I speak, I myself come under the regulation of my word. I will never violate my word. I will keep my word, because I'm a God of integrity. And so when God speaks, his word becomes law even for God. So when God was speaking in Genesis 1:26, he's telling us how he created man and why. And he said, let them have dominion over the earth. What God did not say is, let us have dominion over the earth. So his words became the law, that the earth will be under the complete government, control, management, leadership of humans. I mentioned in our last segment that a human is a mystery. A human is a spirit in a dirt body. The word human is from the word humus, and then man, of course, is the spirit being. And God took the man and put him in the earth suit, or the dirt suit, and made us, therefore, humus man, or human. The only person that God gave authority in the earth to is a human. So therefore, any spirit without a body is illegal on planet earth, because God gave legal authority in the earth to humans. He took himself out of direct interference when he said, let them have dominion over the earth. That was a law. That's why God does not interfere in earth without the cooperation of a human. I'm going to say this again. God does not interfere in the affairs of earth without the cooperation of a human. Not because he's weak, or not because he's not powerful or awesome, omniscient, omnipresent, or sovereign, but because he will not break that law, that word he established. This is why, then, God cannot interfere with Adam and Eve when they were grappling with the temptation of the tree. But God did make a promise to Satan. Genesis 3:15. God says to the devil, he says, the woman that you used to destroy my program for humans, I'm going to use the same woman, and I will come into her womb as a seed. She will create a earth body for me, which will make me legal. Mm-hmm. And I will come into the earth legally, and I will crush your head legally. The word head is referring to authority. I will take back what you stole from humanity and give it back to them. And this is why the promise of the coming of the Messiah was a matter of law that God created. And so God had to become man. And many people ask the question, sometimes I talk to Muslims or Buddhists or Hindus or atheists, and they say to me, look, this great God that you claim you believe in, he created the universe, 500 million planets and galaxies. He runs all the universe. Why would he need to come into a human body in a little planet in all this galaxy and become a salvation element for humanity? And I say, here's why. Because he's so faithful to his word. He refused to interfere in this planet without keeping the law. And the law was only a spirit in a body has legal authority here. And God didn't want to be illegal by violating his own word. So he had to become flesh. Here's a scripture that you've read many times concerning prayer. And now you'll understand it. 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, I will heal their land. All right? Now, here's a mystery to me. Why can't God just heal the land? Mm-hmm. Why does he put this condition? If I can just find some people who would place themselves in a position where I could work through them, then I can heal the land. Why can't God just fix our countries? We got war, we got racism, we got abuse, we got poverty, we got corruption, we got destruction, we got all this stuff going on. And there's this great powerful God who is watching this planet spin out of control, disasters everywhere, corruption, destruction everywhere. Why doesn't he fix it? It's because God is a spirit. He doesn't have a body. That's why he depends on us to give him license to come into the earth realm and interfere. Here's proof. Jesus said, whatever you bind on earth, then heaven can bind it. And whatever you loose or open upon earth, then heaven got permission to open it. Jesus also said, wherever any two of you shall touch and agree concerning anything on the earth, very specific, then it shall be done of your Father who is in heaven. The implication is heaven is waiting for earth to give it permission to interfere so that God will never break his word.
Wow. So that's you got us kind of into that yesterday, and you're just driving it home a little bit more today, and I'm going to make you wait a little bit later in the hour because we're going to take this a little deeper. I think we need a breather just to kind of soak this in a little bit more, Dr. Myles. But we do want to send you out, because all we're doing during these interviews is just scratching the surface of all that you have packed into this book. You really need to get it. Yes.
This book is changing millions of lives because people begin to appreciate that they do have power in prayer, and that prayer is not a religious activity. It is literally a transaction that was provided to us by the privilege of power to affect earth. And if people call the number on the screen right now, or they write to this station and to this program, we would make this book available for them because we want them to learn how to have prayers answered in their lives every day.
It's truly revolutionary, and so we want to get that out to you. And take a look at this. You'll find out how, and we'll be back a little later in the hour.